Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top playing topics. Now, what do we have here going on today? We're seeing the SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, under fire. Election rigging allegations in Mozambique and also in Bostwana. We are seeing Ian Kama air out his grievances. And then they say to be another disaster that is looming in Namibia. What has happened in Namibia? We are seeing something that is, can we say shocking? Can we say surprising? Should we be surprised? We are seeing Stay with Chivayo linked company, or rather, as it's put here on this headline, it reads, Chivayo linked Rainform CC wins US $60 million contract to print ballot papers in the nation of Namibia. Chivayo linked Rainform CC wins US $60 million contract to print ballot papers in Namibia. What is happening here? 60 million, is it United States dollars? It's United States dollars, as it is showing clear right now. So we're gonna dive into all those stories right about now. In the meantime, before we proceed with this video, I'd like to ask you for one favor. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to TV7 Live if you've not yet already done so that you never miss any of our videos, because we make videos each and every day. Now, before we dive into the trial story, remember a few days ago, the car that was gifted to the late Oliver Mtukudzi's wife, Daisy Mtukudzi, was involved in a vehicle accident. Imagine, it was good fortune receiving the car from Chivayo, right? And it was a Toyota Fortuner. Then an unfortunate event would happen. An accident where Daisy is involved in an accident. Fortunately, she doesn't sustain any injuries, but only the vehicle is injured. Then we see Chivayo again intervene.
The prince that is from Prestige Autocare. What the as you can see, here it is. Your we did what we know best as Prestige Autocare. We replaced the panels from that glass, materials, the SSG wing mirror and everything. We managed to bring back the vehicle. So thank you very much. The vehicle is now ready for collection. She can come and collect the vehicle.
Now we're seeing that the car has been renovated. They did replace the doors there that were damaged and did all the repair there. Now the car is as new. Recently, we also saw Oliver Mtukudzi's daughter, Selma Mtukudzi, sing a diss song that was targeted to her, My Nini. We're talking of Daisy Mtukudzi there, and the song is gaining so much attention. I have no comment on that, rather than comment on the relationship, the strained relationship that was there between Selma Mtukudzi and her father Oliver Mtukudzi, because obviously Daisy would have taken Tuku from her mother, so that there will be bitterness, right? Imagine your father marrying another woman, right? And you now having to go and live somewhere else, or your father would live for the other woman, to stay with the other woman. That alone creates a strained relationship. Not necessarily what we call daddy issues, but there would be a strained relationship. Then, at a point now where Selma is staying with Mtukudzi and his new wife, she alleges abuse, right? Whatever the case is, whatever happened, what we should learn from this story is how we grow up, our upbringing, the traumas that we face need to be faced. That is the only way we can resolve them. There is need for counseling. Irregardless of who was wrong or who was right, there is need for counseling. Then in another story, we are seeing Hapiton Bonyongwe, the Zimbabwe CIO, former CIO leader, General Hapiton Bonyongwe, speaking on Morgan Tsvangirai accident. What details does he reveal there? Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live right about now. To those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your name so I can give him a shout out. Enough respect to Eric Mukwamiri watching us live. Lillian Mark says, I'm watching from Bostwana. How is it over there in Bostwana? Taurai Nyati says, hello brother, I'm watching you from Alberton, South Africa. How are you doing there? How is it in South Africa? Wherever you're watching us from, be blessed and stay blessed. Now, before we jump into the Bonyongwe story, let us just check out to see what this Namibia deal that Mnangagwa has landed is about. What is being said here? So let's just jump in it straight up without wasting any time. Make sure you click the like button and do subscribe to TV7 Live there. Yeah. Windhoek, Namibia added US 60 million to supply all election materials, including ballot papers to Renform CC. A South African company embroiled in another procurement scandal in Zimbabwe. The commission initially invited bids through an advert on September 10, 2024, but issued a notice on October 7, 2 days before the deadline for the tender document submission, announcing that the tender had been cancelled. It did not sell its reasons. It did not state its reasons for cancellation. So now this is what we are seeing here. It is Renform that is awarded the tender. Now Renform is not Mnangagwa's company. Rather, Renform is a company that would meet with Mnangagwa now printing some ballot paper in Zimbabwe, right? And a lot of millions are said to have been pumped out. 40 million United States dollars. Now Namibia, or even more money by Renform CC. 60 million. Do they get this contract through Mnangagwa, or they do that on their own? And the charges that they're charging 60 million, where is it coming from? Let us continue. New sources, now sources have told Zim Live that the ECN or the Electoral Commission of Namibia handpicked the Renform CC after deciding to take the emergency procurement route, allowing it to circumvent procurement laws. Why was there delays? And the opposition in Namibia there, what were they doing? So they did communicate with Renform directly. Then this one is an invitation for bids. Open international bidding. Purchaser, Electoral Commission of Namibia. Design and printing of ballot papers for the 2024 National Assembly elections. So this article is saying, and other election material, but it's saying the bid was for design and printing of ballot papers. And the bid price, a non-refundable amount of, that is a bidding price application fee there. When is the 9th October, right? So it is Renform there. Then we go over. We see serious allegations of election rigging, right? Putting the SADC chairperson, President Emerson Mnangagwa, on the spotlight, and SADC as an association or as a body, as an organ, entirely on the spotlight. Should there be any electoral disputes in Southern African Development Community, the area where SADC hails This will eventually come to the SADC Troika organ, which involves President Emerson Mnangagwa as its chairman. We see Ian Kama here.
That's why my CC on about my Zimbabwe, Tana Motswana, Kaumang, about 2 months up on air. For Patanela, Taruna, Habatena, Kaura Hona, or Mekisari, Hona, me, Bunjaba, Batwana.
So here, he's speaking, I think, in his native language. What we can hear so far is Zimbabwe.
So,
enough respect to Dumisani Ngungu. Good evening, Doctor, and TV7 Live. Good evening there. Freeman Chichetu, how are you? Such more man says Doc in Chitungwiza. Yes, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. Big up to Pilot Boss P. Gweshe, watching from Bulawayo. Enough respect there. How is it over there in Bulawayo, and how are you doing it? We are hearing of various robberies happening. How is it? How is the situation over there, especially in the Central Business District? Big up to Mary Roach. Big up watching from Aberdeen in South Africa. Enough respect there. Now we see this one here. Ian Kama speaking. Ian Kama has never been really friends with these ZANU-PF guys. We would see him, one of the people who pushed for the GNU when we would eventually see Mugabe and the Morgan Tsvangirai unite in the GNU. Now we're seeing this article here. ZANU-PF sends agents to rig Botswana elections in favor of incumbent President Ian Masasi. This is dated 18 October 2024. What is there? What evidence is contained here? Remember, the allegations for Mozambique, they were alleging that members of the ZANU-PF were registered to participate in the election. Then a few days ago, we saw protests in Mozambique, protesting the elections there in Mozambique. What other news is there? We see this one here. Mozambique elections, police warn against vandalism and violence. AIM watch. The Mozambican police warned on Friday it will take coercive measures to prevent any acts of violence, vandalism, and public disorder that may occur in the coming days. Addressing the press conference in Maputo, at which journalists were not allowed to ask any questions, the spokesperson of the PRM General Commando, Orlando Madudumane, said that as a result of last week's general elections were gradually released, there had been a surge of speeches to incite hatred, violence, and generalized public disorder, strikes, and illegal demonstrations, such as those that occurred in Nampula on Wednesday. So there's been claims that Valentino Mondani has won these elections, and their efforts to cook up the results. So they are saying that even if when the elections were rigged, these guys still lost the election. Here we can see the power of participating in the elections, actually registering and voting, people voting in their numbers there. And also, they should further look into the voters' roll so that they can dig out the names of foreigners who may have voted in the Mozambique election. Now back to the Botswana. Former President Ian Kama says ZANU-PF has become a regional cancer, undermining democracy by meddling in other countries' electoral processes. This is very powerful. So already it's Namibia, Mamanje it will be, Zambia. And then Ian Kama cites the region, saying ZANU-PF has become a regional headache. So we see these liberation movements in Southern Africa Development Community do stand together by each other. And we're now seeing this one here. Let us continue. Addressing a rally recently in Botswana, Kama said ZANU-PF has sent its agents to rig the forthcoming elections in Botswana to be held on 2024 for President Mokwetsi Masasi. He said ZANU-PF party has been involved in the rigging of the elections in Mozambique. He also pointed out the party's nocturnal involvement in the South African elections held in May this year. Commenting on the allegations, former Zengeza legislator Job Scala says Zimbabweans were being raised to be hated everywhere in the region because of a stinking party that loves to interfere in the domestic affairs of other countries. They are the loudest to cry against interference in the domestic affairs of our own country, but found practicing exactly the same in other nations. All right, so what Job Scala here is basically saying, Zimbabweans everywhere, we are hated everywhere in the region, right? Say now those in those other regions, they are now complaining kuti ZANU-PF is a rigging cancer in the region. And then he continues, everyone is crying against the activities of ZANU-PF. The rigging cancer has been spread throughout the region. Everyone is crying against the activities of ZANU-PF. They must not create problems for our people living in those countries through their activities in the region. They are no different from those countries sponsoring terrorism in other regions. That is a very true and wise words there from Job Scala, saying people in other regions, they should not be harassing Zimbabweans because now they can see that themselves, they are complaining, right? So they should be with Zimbabweans, as Zimbabweans will be going through whatever they are going through. And to add on that, what I say, whatever we are going through, take note of this word, of these two words, going through. We go through. There is no option on that. Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live. Do we still have more time to cover the Happy Tone Bonyongwe? What does he say on the Morgan Tsvangirai story? Now there's a release by the Newsworks Zimbabwe, and this is an extraction from information that they would have extracted from Upton Bonyongwe's new book, One Among Many. What do they reveal here? Let us find out.